And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Grade A Fantasy. Happy Tuesday. It is cold up here on the East Coast. Hopefully, wherever you're listening from, you're staying warm. Everybody's safe, everybody's well, and everybody's energized after the 3-day weekend. Let's get right into it. First off, let's recap probably the best day on Grade A Power Plays on the Grade A Fantasy channel yet. I ended the night playing a little LA action. Luckily, I correlated a couple of people because LA literally got thumped last night. There goes the Kempe Kopitar that I mentioned. I did say Kopitar assist, Kempe point. I did mention all this in the video. Fiala 4 shots. He's been shooting a lot more than Kempe. I think he got the 5, but he got to the 4 for a nice plus money. They did correlate on the power play. It just wasn't Brandon Clark, so I got Kempe and Kopitar on that. Bertuzzi earlier. Like I said, I did like Bedard and Bertuzzi. That didn't happen. Bertuzzi was nice plus money, so I got him by himself to make sure that sometimes I cover myself by doing that. I did a little Columbus Blue Jackets money line. It looked good early, and then I just scored their 3, and then the game was dead after that. Nothing really happened much. Yeah, right. The Buffalo and Seattle game that I mentioned that I said I like ended up pure ruckus. Tage Thompson, power play point. Zucker, power play point. Dunn, power play point. Chandler Stevenson, power play point. And then I was able to correlate Bjorkstrand and Stevenson on a 5-on-5. But guess what? It still worked out anyway because I got the point because they correlated on the power point. Cousins and Tuck scored late. Couldn't get the Manny Beniers and Schwartz, but I did get Thompson, Zucker on the regular 0.55 because they correlated on the power play. So sometimes it's good to have that power play and line combination that you can get. And that's pretty much it, I think, for yesterday. And no. I actually started the day with the San Jose-Boston game, and the Zaka power play point went through. The Pastrnak point went through. Pastrnak over 4.5 went through. L'Oreal got the point. L'Oreal got the point. That's interesting. No, sorry. I'm reading two names. Mason L'Oreal got the point. Morgan Geekie didn't get the point because he was on the top line, didn't correlate. L'Oreal got the assist. And then that's pretty much it. It was a great day. It was definitely a great day. So let's get right into it after that quick 2-minute recap. Now, we're going to do this show a little differently because today there's just weird stuff going on. People are missing props. People are just not here and there, but they're on other prop markets. So let's start with what's not going on. The easiest game that I want to get to, we're just going to start here. Tampa Bay, Montreal. Suzuki's there for anytime goal. But yet, when I'm looking for the point props, Cole is there, but he's not around. So hopefully Suzuki gets up there later. They're at home. Also, you can't get Vasilevsky, who's most likely going to start because Johansson started the last game. Vasilevsky can be had on the power play. Tampa Bay does commit a few penalties, but even 5-on-5, Cole and Suzuki will get the better matchups. So I do like that, but I will be holding out for that. There's literally, I think, only 4 games out of all the games today that I truly like, but we'll get that out the way because Suzuki's just not up there. He's up there for power play. He's up there for other stuff, but he's just not there for a point. Don't get it. And then as we go to Florida, you know me, what's the theme on Grade A Fantasy and Grade A Power Plays is that we go with the defenseman funnel. Well, guess what? He's on anytime shots on goal, but guess what? Gustav Forsling is not here. He still hasn't been added yet. So I don't know if we could do the defenseman shot funnel today after he got 5. These teams literally played 3 or 4 days ago. But as you can see here, when it comes to the individual shot markets, he's nowhere to be found. Lancome here, Evan Rodriguez is here. You got Vetrano here at 2.5. So, you got a team in Anaheim that gives up the 3rd most shots. They're giving up 1,481 shots. So there could be a lot of shot props that you can take from some people. But here's where I want to get interesting. As they've risen into second with power play minutes, 499 now, and they're about 13 behind Boston, who's still the only team above 500. The penalty kill for Florida has gone down, so it's down to 788. So if there's anything from this game that I really like, is the ability. Well, first I do like the points. So in my notes already the point market for that Anaheim 1 line. They're at home this time, so they're going to get away from that Barkov-Reinhart line, which was most of a grind, too. It's not like picking Florida was the best thing in that game anyway. That game ended up 3-1, and the top lines didn't really do much. It was pretty much the bottom lines that did most of the work and point scoring. And some of the guys that got points are not on the market. So what I like in this game, I like the opportunity for Troy for pretty much combinations of line 1. I like Troy Terry and Vetrano, plus 155. I like Frank Vetrano and Ryan Strome, plus 192. I love Vetrano, Terry. Some of these prices has changed compared to my notes. 155, slightly gone down. In my notes, I have 204, 159, and 159. But I definitely like the opportunity that they're going to get at least the high event second line with Bennett and Kachuk, where they're somewhat good defensively. And then, you got a somewhat good also third line. Like I said, you got Lundell, who's basically a baby Barkov. But once again, the opportunity is there because of the penalty minutes that Florida gives up. So not only do I like those line combinations, I do like the power play combinations. Power play market's pretty weak for Florida because Anaheim is another team that we like to attack on the power play. But we're just going to pretty much play it smart and with all the value here. I mean, the worst power play prop for any Anaheim, and they literally got the entire power play one. Troy Terry's at minus 370. Then you got Vetrano 500, Lancome 500, Strome at 500, Leo Carlson 600. So I'm definitely going to take a few sniffs there. So definitely power play 1, which is correlated with Anaheim 1. They should do a lot better than what they did just 3 days ago. Like I said, they were literally shut down. Vetrano generated. The thing about even being shut down, they still generated. Vetrano still had 9 shots on goal, amazingly, in that game. Just nothing was being able to finish. So if he was able to get 9 shots on goal and had to go against the Barkov line, in this case, the penalty kill's not good. And they're committing even more penalties. And literally the only time he's going to see Barkov is in a special teams moment because Barkov is part of the penalty kill. So definitely worth, if you're not worried about getting any power play points, definitely the 5-on-5 matchup should be fine. Goalies have not been confirmed yet. But I'm definitely going to be putting that in soon. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like some people are just not available for like certain prop markets. So hopefully by the afternoon. Now this is a 10-10 game. This, like I said, Anaheim was in Florida 3 days ago. Now Florida's all the way out west. So maybe they add him. So this is something that y'all could wait on. This could be waited on. And you can literally bet on a whole slate, have some money to like bet later and like throw some stuff on it, and maybe falls and gets added later. That's why I have not done nothing with this yet. Now, with the next game that I like, we're gonna go back and attack good old San Jose, who's given up the most shots at 1,578. They've given up 1,000 more than the second best, than the second team that has given up that many shots against. So remember, the top 3 is San Jose, then it's Pittsburgh, then it's Anaheim. Pittsburgh is now over 1,500. San Jose is now almost at 1,600. So now, obviously, when you hear that, shots on goal props seem to be interesting and something good to take. As you can see, some of the most popular, props are being taken here. But here's 2 things that I do like. One, we're going to go back to points. Once again, they're heavy favorites. There makes no sense to take anybody at all that's correlated with the top line or correlated with the power play, 178 and worse. So I'm going to the 2-point props because the 2-point props are actually better than the power play props. Forsberg is 164, Marshy is just under 200, Yoshi 220, Stamkos 260, and Ryan O'Reilly 300. It would be interesting to combo some of these. Obviously, we want to wait for skate to see who's gonna be skating with one another. But right now, it was last reported, and I guess because the way it was the last game, Stamkos is once again going to center Forsberg and Marchessualt, while Ryan O'Reilly goes to the bottom line with Gustav Nyquist. Like I said, they're still trying to figure things out, but things have gotten better. Obviously, I'm somebody that wishes Stamkos would just stay on the wing with somebody, but Stamkos does have experience playing center, so him, Forsberg, and Marchessualt fully correlated on the top line with San Jose. So I think the fact that they could generate so much with shots, yeah, you can go for shots on goals. And if you go for shots on goals, to compare to some of these prices that you're getting for 2 points, you're probably going to have to go up to like 5 shots. You're most likely going to have to go up to like 5 shots or 4 shots for some of these same prices. But, you know, they're hittable against the team that has given up the most shots. Like I said, damn near 100 ahead of second place. But when you compare the props, if they're able to generate, I think 2-point props in this game are live. So I love 2 points with the top line. If the top line is Forsberg, Marchessualt, Stamkos, because of the power play matchup, you could throw Yossi in there. If you think the entire top line is gonna be able to generate all 3 for 2 points is plus 823. You throw Yoshi, let's say he gets some power play correlation in there, it becomes plus 1,416. But I definitely like sprinkling the 2-point combinations. And as you can see there, when you look at those odds, look at the power play points. Plus 150, plus 155, plus 155, 200. You're not getting the better odds. So actually, value, because they could generate, yes, shots on goal are viable. But for me, I will be sprinkling 2-point props here later, just waiting for some lines to confirm. And the last game that we will talk about today, once again, I'm smelling potential ruckus between another Buffalo game. Buffalo on a back-to-back. Now they're on the road against Vancouver. 2 teams that are slumping. 1 team slumping back-to-back. 1 team slumping rested. In most cases, if I'm not mistaken, it might be Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I think he was hurt. He was ruled out maybe to an illness because he had the potential to start yesterday, and then it became Devin Levi. So I think he has the potential to be one of the guys there coming off the ice. It still hasn't been confirmed yet. They still don't have lines yet because obviously no morning skate. That's going to have to wait till later. But yesterday it was Devin Levi, James Reimer's the next backup if UPL can't go. So it will be interesting if he can go. Like I said, undisclosed injury and considered day-to-day. That's what the issue was. So I don't know if he'll be able to. It's definitely going to be one of those. Just be glad that, and it's another late start too. It's one of those things that you'll find out definitely later in the day though. If not, you're going to have to wait to find out till pre-skate warm-ups 30 minutes before. But for this game, there's a lot of props that I like. First off, let's head right straight to the points. At least nobody's really missing from here. Once again, some of the Vancouver guys are a bit overpriced to combine them. Now, Vancouver's been off, so their lines are already confirmed. They're going with a top line of DeBrusque, Pedersen in the middle with Brock Besser, Pia Suter, JT Miller, and Garland, Teddy Bluger, Heinen, and Sherwood on the third line. Bottom line doesn't really matter because none of those guys really have markets unless you're doing anytime goals. But for the power play, Miller, Garland, Besser, Pedersen. Basically, the center and the right wings are correlated on line 1 and line 2 for the power play. And then, of course, you got the great Quinn Hughes. Like I said, it's another team that I like to attack because Buffalo not only on back-to-back, but they continue. They gave up a power play yesterday, had a few minutes giving up penalty time. They have now risen up, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, they're one of the teams that have risen up a bit. I just had this stat up previously. Hold on. Buffalo is now currently they were 7th, so they played yesterday, so they just passed Jersey. So now the PK went from, if I'm not mistaken, just the other day that PK was I think 77 or 78 in my notes when I had it when I was checking out that Buffalo game. Yes, it did drop down because of the power play, yeah. In my notes yesterday, they were 77.3. Now it's 76.9 with what they gave up yesterday. So, especially if UPL is not the goalie either. Like I said, Buffalo had the tendency to show up on the road, but my favorite point combos in this game, especially with Vancouver's defensive tendencies, the top line will go against the Tage line, which means the Quinn Hughes line, which means the Quinn Hughes pairing. Mark Friedman will be most likely. I definitely like it more with Phil Hronek. Like I said, they're going through some injuries. Tyler Myers is out, so that is a downgrade. But like I said, you're still going against Quinn Hughes. So that means Carson Soucy and Philip Hronek will get to see a lot of the middle matchups, which means the Dylan Cousins line. And what I like with the top, what I like with that combo, very, very valuable. Once again, you got a Cousins line that's plus money. Cousins, you got Cousins and Tuck both plus money at 210. I love that. Plus, you gotta love them both individually. You got Cousins and Peterka, who's basically even money plus 245. I'm gonna run that right back again. I damn sure will. Plus power play correlation between Cousins and Tuck on power play 2. Peterka's on power play 1 with Tage and Zucker and Dahlin. But those are my top 2 line combinations there. When we look at, like I said, once we look at the opposite side here with Vancouver, if interested, maybe it might come out okay, but I don't really like it too much. But JT Miller has the power play correlation. Garland, it does get to 133, so that is an option. JT Miller, we'll see the lower matchups. Pedersen and Besser, on the other hand, should be about the same. No, plus 158. So the combos aren't too bad. The combos are not too bad when it comes to these guys right now. But like I said, with Vancouver and their struggles, and if Demko is most likely going to be the goalie, like I said, I like attacking goalie just coming off injury. It's going to take him some time to really, get back into the feel of things. But I think Demko will be the goalie. And if that's the case, we still have a Vancouver team here that is 8th. They're 8th. I don't talk about Vancouver like that because they do have a solid penalty kill, but they still give opportunities. They're 8th with 439 minutes, so they're 2 spots behind Buffalo. So the power play opportunities are viable, and the power play props that I like here with the best value, and I feel what's the best opportunity? Yes, Quinn Hughes, because it's so easy for him with all the assists. He's plus 150, but my top plays are Tage, Zucker, Peterka. We got 280. We got plus 280 for Tage. Zucker, 320. They hit yesterday. Peterka, plus 340. Once again, Dahlin basically priced right there at that 200 point, where I kind of just say kind of leave it alone. And then the best values for hitting on the power play on the opposite side, even though it's there, yes, I'm going with, even though Pedersen is there at a nice price. Pedersen is at a nice price at 270, but the better prices for me are Brock Besser at 300, Garland at 370. So a lot of opportunity, a lot of fun opportunity. But I'm definitely gonna mark down the 270 Pedersen. That's still a good price right there. And if you're expecting some ruckus, here's what you want to do with somebody who's definitely going to be involved. Obviously, Quinn Hughes is somebody that you're going to want to, involve in this. His power play point is plus 150. But if you just say, hey, Quinn Hughes could score as well, which he can, Quinn Hughes by himself, just for 2 points, is a 240 prop. Oh, wow, that changed. Okay, that went up. In my notes, he was 220. Okay, so that's a good thing. And then for him for 2 assists, Quinn Hughes is 370, and that went up because in my notes just a little while ago, looking up information, 350. So there are options here for the ruckus. But when it comes to the line combinations, the value is there. I didn't think the point combinations would be so good for the for Vancouver, but they're not that bad. Like I said, I will mark that down, because they do have power play correlation as well. So Miller 184. What is it? Miller and Besser for a point. Miller, Besser for a point. And then we have Miller, Garland for a point. 133. And then, of course, we have Elias and Besser. And Elias and Besser are plus 158. Plus with all the power play correlation. Like I said, if there's any ruckus, I smell it in the Buffalo game again. Plus they're at home. Plus they're on the road, back to back. Vancouver has not been playing that well defensively. They've kind of like hit a slump. Like I said, there's a few teams that I feel that are skating right now and just not playing their best, and they probably need that All-Star break or Four Nations break or whatever just to get that playoff push. Plus there's trades and stuff like that to be done. But once again, thank you for tuning in. This has been Grade A Fantasy with another episode of Grade A Power Plays. Good luck if you're tailing any of these. Once again, we are still waiting to see if people like Suzuki and Forsling are added to markets. Both Forsling and Suzuki are they're not on points or shot props, but they still have it for anytime goals. So something's got to give. But like I said, some of those games are late. If there's anything early that I was mainly focused on, like I said, I'm waiting for Suzuki because that's a 7 o'clock drop the puck. Like I said, the 2-point combos in the Nashville game, that's at 8 o'clock. And then, yeah, the two games that I'm really like putting a lot of work in and research on are the last two games of the night, the two late night hammers. So we have a lot to wait for. So hopefully they put these guys on. If not, you already have my notes. Grade A Power Plays. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I'm signing off.